Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the palette tag video. I first saw this video done by Samantha and Allie Glines. They did like a collab video. And I also seen some other YouTubers do this. I seen Braun do it, and I can't think of anybody else, but if I do, I will link it down below. So this is kind of like a spin on what Tic Tok does. Like show your most used, show your most expensive. I don't know, I just thought it was fun and I decided to do it last minute. I thought it would be fun to do, go through my collection and think about, which category each palette would go into. So, I don't know, I thought it'd be fun. If you're not already, I would love for you to like and subscribe. And also, I want to tag all the wonderful ladies in my collab group I'm a part of, the Faithful Fab Nine, to do this video, and also whoever else wants to do this video. If you came across this video and you think it would be fun to do, I would love for you to do this. Okay, so let's get into the video and see which category each of my eyeshadow palettes belong to. Okay, so the first category is show your newest palette. And this one I just got my BoxyCharm yesterday. It's the Studio Makeup Ease to Wear eyeshadow palette, and it retails for $35. This is a BoxyCharm exclusive item. The palette has a mirror, and it's just simple neutrals, more cooler. It's very similar to the ABH Sultry palette, and I only used this once, and what I did use of it, I thought it was a nice palette. So this is my newest. Second one is show your oldest palette. Right here, I still kept the box. It's a Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon. My boyfriend actually bought this for me for Christmas. It was when I first started really getting into makeup, and this is when YouTube was everyone was talking about the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palettes, and this is what he picked up for me. It's super cute. It reminds me of Valentine's Day. I just love the packaging. And here's the inside. How cute are the pans, the little hearts. And this is more of one of the cooler palettes from Too Faced in their chocolate collection. And you got the pops of pink. I just thought this was such a pretty eyeshadow palette. And I love this shade right here, Satin Sheets. It does still have a hint of chocolate, but I did notice the formula of this isn't the same as it used to be. It's not as pigmented. Like, I really have to dig in and keep building and building. I mean, it is pretty old, so that is expected, and it has a 12-month life shelf. I definitely had it more than 12 months. I can't even think, maybe like 3 years, 4 years. It just seems like time has gone so quick since I got into makeup. It feels like all this stuff is still new. It's just crazy how quick makeup becomes irrelevant. It really is. But I think this is a nice palette, nice classic, and I'm definitely probably gonna try to keep this forever because it is my first real eyeshadow palette. Okay, now the category is show your most expensive eyeshadow palette. And I do have a few that are in the expensive range. Like I have the two Huda Beauty palettes, which I believe are around $65, but I decided to show this one. It's the ABH Norvina collection, the Pressed Pigment Palette Volume 1. I actually didn't pay for this. I won it in a giveaway. I won it from Dede DeCorte Beauty here on YouTube. Look at this. It's really gorgeous. There's a lot of fun shades. The new palette they're actually releasing reminds me a lot of this one, except for the new one releasing has like a mix of more neutrals and the purples. But it's a really pretty palette, and it is very expensive. $65 for an eyeshadow palette is pricey. The next category is show your most affordable eyeshadow palettes. So I have these from LA Colors, and funny thing is, actually these were gifted to me by Dede DeCorte Beauty. So my most expensive eyeshadow and my most affordable are both from Dede DeCorte Beauty. These are the LA Color eyeshadows. She got these at the Dollar Tree for $1, And this one is in Rosy, and this one is in Fab 4. These are a part of the Beauty Through the Decades line. I believe this one is from the 40s, and this one I believe is from the 60s. And these eyeshadows work really well. The mattes are creamy. The shimmers are beautiful. These are really a bang for your buck. Okay, so the next one is your Show Your Everyday palette, which I would say it's the Going Coconuts palette by ColourPop. It just has your pretty everyday neutrals. It's a small palette, so I feel like for everyday palette, it's nice to have something smaller, like if you're doing makeup in a hurry on the go. And it has beautiful, like, cooler mattes and warmer mattes, and the shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. You are gonna get a little bit of fallout with the shimmers, but if you just dust it away, it's not too bad. But it's a really affordable palette. It's gorgeous. The shimmers are beautiful. The shades are beautiful. And you could get a really quick, easy look out of this palette. Now let's Show Your Most Colorful palette. And this is my tried and true palette that I reach for anytime I need to do a colorful eyeshadow look. I always reach for this. This is the Take Me to Brazil by BH Cosmetics. You can tell I have like foundation on. It's pretty beat up. But it is definitely my most colorful palette, a beautiful rainbow palette, and you even have like a white and black for like base colors if you want to like transform any of the shades. And you pretty much have every shade of the rainbow. The quality isn't, I wouldn't say it's the best quality ever, but it was an affordable palette, and I think it's nice to have at least one rainbow palette in your collection for if you want to do anything like more colorful, artsy, or for like Halloween or anything like that. It's fun. Like holidays I like to do green for St. Patrick's Day, or I don't know, I just like to do stuff like that, and it's really pretty. And you could even use one of these colors for a pop of color, like if you want to do like a pop of blue under the waterline, or a pop of purple, a pink. It's a really nice palette to have around. My smallest palette in my collection, I would say, are the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. Like, these are really tiny. Like, I don't know, it's a little longer than this one, but it's still pretty small. And you have 4 shades, and these retail for $3. This is the one I have in Rosewater, which is probably my favorite out of the ones I own. I own Cream and Sugar and Berry Rad, or Berry Bad, I can't remember. But I really enjoy these. They are small and compact. The formula is really great. I mean, I really got a good dip out of this one matte shade. It's like my favorite color ever. But yeah, definitely my smallest palette in my collection. Okay, so my biggest palette in my collection is the original Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe. I do have volume 2, and that one's slightly smaller than this. Like, my daughter owned a James Charles palette. That's not technically mine, but if I did own it, that would be my largest palette in my collection. But this one has a ton of shades. It's like a warm, neutral palette with pops of color, and this is the original formula. I got this in the second release. Like, the first release, it sold out really quick, and then it was like the next release like a month or 2 later. So it is the original formula. They did change the formula, which it's no longer vegan, which is kind of upsetting, and I guess it's just not as good as this formula, which is kind of disappointing that Morphe did this and did that in like their best palette, you know, that they have. But it is really a good palette. I love the shimmers. I love the chocolate browns. I do find that because it's so big, I reach for it less, because when I store it, it's usually at the bottom of everything else. But I did change the way I store my eyeshadow palette, so hopefully I will reach for this more. Okay, best show your palette with the best memory. I don't know if this would be like my best memory, but this is the palette that gives me the most, like, I have like the most attachment to, I guess you would say. This is the Carly Bible, the Deluxe palette. I actually had the original, but I gave it away because I had this one. So maybe technically that would be, you know, the one I had the best memory. But I just love this palette, and I was so excited to get it, and I used it so much. It's, I don't know, this palette just gives me like the best feels, I guess. It's just such a pretty color story. This is like right up my alley and what I love. I love mauves. The highlighters are so good. I mean, this like purple taupey cool shade is so pretty. The shimmer shade, I love using like these in my crease. It's so pretty. I love it. Definitely would say it's like, I guess it would be my best memory. I can't remember like what eyeshadow palette I wore for to give me a best memory, but I guess this is the closest I could get. I'll show you now the palette worth the hype. So this is the Sweet Peach, or Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This palette, I would say, was so hyped up. It kept selling out. People would wait in lines at Ulta like hours before the store would open to get this palette. This palette was so hyped up. And originally it was supposed to be a limited edition palette. But it did so well that, you know, Too Faced made it a part of the permanent collection. It smells like peaches. It smells so good. And it's a warm, neutral palette with pops of peach. And it's just such a beautiful, like everyday, warm, neutral palette. I think it's perfect for the summer, the spring. It's just gorgeous. Like even the fall, like look at that purple. That would be so pretty in the fall. And then this shade right here, oh, I love this. I need to do a look using like the shade like this, because I feel like that's like really popular right now, is people are using this like light pastel green in their looks. And the pinks are really pretty. I love the shade Luscious, this shimmer. I think it's worth the hype. I've had this for a while and I still love it. And I think it's really good formula, and I think it was worth the hype. Okay, now I'll show a palette not worth the hype. I still enjoy this palette, but when this palette came out, every single YouTuber had a video about this palette. Too Faced must have been pushing out this palette in PR and in sponsorships, because people, I swear, YouTube was flooded with videos. That's what pressured me to buy this. It's the Too Faced Natural Love. It's the ultimate neutral eyeshadow collection. I mean, the packaging is beautiful. Like, look, it's gorgeous. And this is like a felt, it's like textured. It really is a gorgeous palette. But the only reason I say it's not worth the hype is because it's just a simple palette. I don't know, they just made it seem like I had to have it. They were like, it has all the shades from existing neutral eyeshadow palettes from Too Faced. And in my mind, I was thinking, I don't ever have to purchase another neutral Too Faced palette. Who am I kidding? I still have other neutral Too Faced eyeshadow palettes, the same shades. But it was just so hyped up, and then it came and went. Like a month later, no one talked about it. And it disappeared. It would no longer sold. It's limited edition. I mean, it's a decent palette. I don't think the quality is awesome. I think it's more of their like, you know how Too Faced has holiday collections and the quality isn't as good as their permanent collections? That's kind of how this is. But I don't know. I don't think it was worth the hype. I think it's nice, it's decent, but not worth the hype. And this was expensive too. I want to say it was around $60. So I could say that was like one of my most expensive palettes as well. Now is show an eyeshadow palette from your favorite brand. And I'm going to show this one. It's the Sweet Talk palette by ColourPop. I would say ColourPop is currently my favorite brand for eyeshadows. They're affordable, the packaging is cute, I love the color stories of their palettes, and they're, did I already say they're affordable? They're affordable. And the quality is good. That's probably what I was getting at. But here is the Sweet Talk palette. It was released for spring last year, I believe. And it's just a gorgeous peachy coral palette. I love the textures in here. You have a super shock, you have matte finishes, you have shimmer finishes, and some glitter finishes, which some people don't like the glitter, some people do. It's like on your, I don't know, they're not considered eye safe. but you have to use it on your own, you know, if you want to use it or not. But I love this palette. I love the colors of it. I think it's so pretty. I need to use this more. ColourPop is definitely my favorite brand currently for eyeshadows. It used to be Too Faced, but now it's ColourPop, and it's been ColourPop for a while. And the last category is show your most used. This one was hard because I kind of cycle through my eyeshadow palettes. I really don't stick to one. I try to rotate through and use them all. But I don't know, so I couldn't really pinpoint, so I just picked one. I don't know if this is my most used, but it's the Anastasia Soft Glam. It's just a pretty neutral color story. The shimmers are beautiful. The, you know, the matte browns are gorgeous. You have that pretty dusty rose, which is like my favorite like eyeshadow for transition. I love mauves. And the black in here is so good. It's just a great everyday neutral palette. And maybe it might not be my most used because I don't really keep track of that. But if I got rid of all my palettes, this is probably, I think I did one of those videos before and I chose to keep this one. It's just so pretty, and you can get, I mean, obviously you're gonna get some neutral looks out of this, but you can make it more pinky, more orangey warm. So it is pretty. I love it. So yeah, this is my eyeshadow video tag. I would love for you guys to do this video. If you have a YouTube channel, definitely let me know if you do a video, because I am subscribed to a lot of people, and I apologize if I miss your videos or I don't, you know, I try to keep up and watch everybody, but it just goes through the cracks, you know, I just miss a few. So if by chance you do this video, let me know so I can watch it in case I miss it. I would love to hear what you think about your eyeshadow palettes, because we all have different collections and we all, you know, have different opinions on what we like and, you know, what we think about our eyeshadow palettes. But I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I'm sure I'll see you soon. Bye.